So finally, countdown has started for one of the biggest political festival of India, that is the election. And ECI has announced the election in the one of the topmost states of India, including Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, even in the UT of Puducherry. So in this entire electoral game, what is important from the exams point of view that we will be discussing, and that is a topic of model code of conduct. Welcome you all at the Ekagra Academy's channel. Here in this session, we will be discussing this whole elections perspective from the model code of conduct's point of view, where we need to understand the questions which we can expect in the UPSC or MPSC examination from this whole news. So first, the news, as we discussed just now, that election dates has been announced, right? Now, what to take from this entire news? See, basically what UPSC or MPSC ask in the examination is not about the facts, not just about the numbers. They usually ask the things which is related with that phenomena. So with this election dates, okay, we have nothing to do with it. Political parties involving in it, their ideology, इन सबका कोई काम नहीं, right? Simply we need to focus only on the thing which can come in the examination, and the most expected thing, ठीक है, linked with the election in India which can come in the exam is the model code of conduct, right? So with the announcement of date, actually model code of conduct get implemented throughout the country, especially in those states which are going to be in election in the month of April. Right? Now, the question arises here, what is the model code of conduct? Its history, how it evolved, how it is used by the Election Commission of India. All these points we are going to discuss in this particular session. So let's start. Now, the key questions which we are going to deal here: why was model code of conduct was introduced? What kind of power Election Commission gets during the model code of conduct, and third, what is the legal basis for the model code of conduct? So without wasting our time, let's start first with the origin of model code of conduct. Remember one thing, model code of conduct has not been mentioned in India's constitution. It has not been mentioned in any statute, in any law. It is something, a voluntary practice started by the Election Commission of India first during the Kerala Assembly election in the year 1960 as a kind of a pilot project. But when they saw its effect, it got started implementing in all the elections of India 1968 onwards, gradually, not in a one go. You can say after 1980s it became a part of mandatory compulsion, right, where this thing implemented in all the elections. But you can say after 1968 it actually got a speed. Now the core question comes, why did Election Commission of India came with this idea of model code of conduct? Remember, whenever we talk about India, so basic nature of India's politics is that India is a democratic country, which clearly means what? The core thing of democracy or core essence of democracy is clearly dependent on the free and fair elections, right? That clearly indicates if our elections are going to be compromised, we are not going to be more democratic, and our freedom fighters fought just for this. And to ensure its effective implementation, what is needed? Free and fair elections. And to make sure that elections are conducted in this way, ECI came with the model code of conduct. So its main purpose is to conduct free and fair elections, preventing misuse of state power, because it is possible that candidates from the opposition parties maybe get arrested by the police, right, or any other kind of misuse of power. By whom? By a party which is now a ruling party, right? So to prevent those kind of things, it has been introduced, and also to maintain what? A level playing field between those who are in power, between those who are in the opposition, and even between the parties versus individual candidates. So to keep the entire election process inclusive, ECI came with the idea of model code of conduct, right? So we discussed its utilities, but now let's try to understand how these things are actually implemented on the ground, right? Now, whenever we say this model code of conduct, and as we discussed, it has not been mentioned in the constitution, it has not been mentioned in the any law. So how does anything can be used like this? Because in India we all know we practice rule of law, right? That clearly means anything which is in existence, it must be having backing of law. So when we talk about model code of conduct, though it is not mentioned in law, though it is not mentioned in the constitution, but when we interpret the power of Election Commission of India in the article 324, so they have a power to superintend, direct and control the elections, and under this power only they are using what? Model code of conduct. Apart from it, we have certain other acts like Representation of People's Act 1951, right, which gives power regarding to qualification and disqualification of the candidates going to fight for the elections, right? Erstwhile Indian Penal Code, which now became what? Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, so that any candidate who is actually spreading enmity, hatred during Election Commission of India can take action against those people. So that authority comes also from this one. And then election symbols order, as ECI has a complete authority to resolve any dispute between the parties in regards to usage of symbols during the election. So by understanding these provisions, we can have that idea to use these powers, to use or to implement these laws effectively, right? ECI comes with the idea of model code of conduct, right? So let's see how it is actually implemented. So when we talk about the MCC, see, when model code of conduct is actually implemented, it is implemented when the dates are announced. So as we seen, right, dates announced on the 14th of March, right, for the elections. So it got implemented from 14th of March and it will remain in force till the election process get completed, that is till the counting, till the government is formed in those states, right? Now, to whom it applies? See, model code of conduct actually applies on all these things: union government, state governments, ministers, political parties, and the candidates who are going to contest the elections. Let's see, right, what kind of restrictions imposed on each of them, right? First, when it comes to model code of conduct, it gives certain guidelines to the political parties, to the candidates in regards to their political campaigns. Guidelines such as they cannot use religion, caste or communal sentiments, right? If any candidates use it, under RPA 1951, ECI may cancel out their candidature. First. Second, restriction on government. That is the most important point. Remember, state may use their own resources for their political benefits. Let's say if elections are near, what state government can do, or the ruling party's state government can do, they can just announce a new scheme, they can distribute a freebies and may get a vote, right, during the elections. So to prevent that kind of misuse, during the model code of conduct, governments have been prohibited from announcing new scheme, laying the foundation stones or inauguration of new projects, and using public funds for the political publicity. Means what? Using the funds of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting for giving advertisement of ruling party. That cannot be done. And use of government machinery is also prohibited. Means official vehicles of government cannot be used during political campaigning, right? Transfers of officers cannot be done arbitrarily during the model code of conduct. So this is how they want to keep level playing field during the elections, by imposing these kind of restrictions on the government, on the candidates, on the political parties, right? So this is how we need to understand how the MCC is applied. And as we discussed, once MCC is applied and if anyone violates this, what ECI can do? Number one, they can issue notices to the leaders, they can warn the candidates, even they can ban the leaders from the campaigning, or they can file even FIR against them, right? That is how it works. Now, one point is very crucial. ECI cannot directly disqualify candidates under MCC because this power lies with the President of India, and President consults with whom? ECI. Their powers come indirectly. So this was about the whole process of the Model Code of Conduct, okay, its importance, and ultimately how it implemented on ground. Thank you.